In this video, I'll be diving into the Batman noir story that propelled Scott Snyder to stardom. Hey, what is going on everybody? This is Alex and I'm back once again with yet another long overdue video, and to no surprise, it's an Absolute Edition. I first came across Black Mirror not when it was coming out in floppies under the Detective Comics title from 871 to 881, but I picked this up when the hardcover was released in early 2013. I believe I was in a phase when I was getting all my titles in either trades or hardcovers. Feel free to correct or disagree with me in the comments below, but I think the general consensus with us readers is that Scott Snyder was famous for his take on Batman and Bruce Wayne since the launch of the New 52. Don't get me wrong, it was such a flawless and infamous 50-issue run, but if I were to compare Court of Owls, Death of the Family, Super Heavy and Endgame to the Black Mirror, all those stories pale in comparison to his first take on Batman. Before I dive into more details on what the standard hardcover, noir and absolute editions bring to the table, I first want to give you all a brief non-spoiler overview of the Black Mirror, and don't worry, I won't ruin this for you. Let's leave all the spoiler talk in the comments below. The Black Mirror is a Batman story that occurs pre-New 52 and happens after the events of Final Crisis and the return of Bruce Wayne. This time period in Gotham is where Dick Grayson is the current Batman protecting the city, while Bruce Wayne has started Batman Incorporated, where he takes the Bat brand globally. The 11-issue story is really divided into 5 parts, but it all builds up to a highly emotional and impactful finale. This issue kicks off with a 3-parter, where Grayson closes in on a secret auction that sells off collectibles of Batman's rogues gallery to an elite crowd. The next 3 chapters is titled The Skeleton Cases, where James Gordon Jr. returns to Gotham City after many years. I believe the only time we saw James Gordon Jr. before was in Batman Year 1, where he was an infant baby. Then we move on to the one-shot story called The Lost Boys, where Commissioner Gordon hunts down a man who he believes is a child murderer when he was investigating him in his early days on the force. Next up is Hungry City, where we see Dick and Jim investigate another murder where a body is found to be a dead killer whale. This murder has ties to Sonia Zucker, who's the daughter of Tony Zucker, the one responsible for the death of Dick's parents. And the last 3 chapters, Skeleton Key, My Dark Architect, and The Face in the Glass, all builds up to an explosive finale where all is revealed. As much as I love Grant Morrison's Dick Grayson and the Batman and Robin title, Scott Snyder, in my opinion, has done a flawless job with Grayson and how he decided to hone in on Batman's detective skills throughout this 11-part story, but as well as build a close working relationship with Jim Gordon. But it is not all Snyder that delivers here, but the art in this book is done by 2 superstar artists, Jock and Francesco Francavilla. The 2 produces very different art styles, but somehow it's quite very fitting for the story. I'm definitely a huge fan of both of them to this day, but for those who adore Dave Mazzucchelli's work on Batman Year 1, one will definitely be blown away at what Francavilla has produced here in the Black Mirror. For the new reader who hasn't picked up any Batman pre-New 52, I can totally understand that it may be a little off-putting as we get Dick Grayson, not Bruce, underneath the cowl, but I want to make it clear that this is a Batman story through and through. It is such a fantastic noir mystery which involves Batman putting his detective work in full play, as well as a deep psychological deep dive into Jim Gordon's family and the city of Gotham. As much as I'm about to pimp the hell out of the Absolute Edition, which, spoiler alert, I'll recommend you go out and purchase this bad boy ASAP, I know some of you may be skeptical and nervous to drop the $100 recommended retail price, so here are 2 physical alternatives. First up is the standard hardcover. Unfortunately, this is now out of print, but you can pick up the identical trade paperback for approximately $13 US. You get the full story, which runs from Detective Comics 871 to 881, Jock and Francavilla's design and sketches, and also a first draft script by Snyder of part 1 of the Skeleton Cases. The other hardcover we have here for Black Mirror is the Noir Edition, which is absolutely perfect for its story. Having read the standard hardcover over half a decade ago, I needed to refresh my memory here for this video, so I finally cracked open this Noir Edition to read this cover to cover. The dimensions here for this book is slightly taller than an oversized hardcover, but I can definitely say it's worth the double or even triple dip into seeing the art from a different perspective. Damian Ryland from the DC design team did a great job here putting this together. Now finally moving on to the edition I know you came here to see. This is the Absolute Edition of the Black Mirror. For the exterior design, I absolutely love Megan Bellison's minimalistic design on the slipcase and cover. Megan's modernization of the titles definitely enhances and makes the edition extra clean. If the design choice was made to utilize the old script typeface of the original edition, I couldn't see it working on the spine, and even on the original hardcover, the title gets lost in the bats. For the book itself, we get no dust jacket, which I absolutely prefer. My older Absolutes with a dust jacket tends to get massively wrecked after dozens of times taking it out the slipcase. Now diving into the interior design, Monique Narbonetta continues the very clean, minimalistic, monotone approach which absolutely flows extremely well. Overall, Megan and Monique did a fantastic job here, and I hope to see more Absolute Batman editions from the pair. Personally, I would love to see an Absolute edition of The Death of the Family next. I am sure that they would knock it out the park. In regards to the build of the book, no complaints here with the binding, and as you can see, there is no gutter loss. Gutter loss would have truly ruined this book, as there is a flawless Francavilla double page spread here that truly shines in this oversized format. I wouldn't expect any binding issues in any case, as this only collects Detective Comics 871 to 881, which of course is just 11 issues. The paper stock is also on point like every other Absolute edition we currently see. And finally, there are no signs of that wavy paper that you see from the other publishers. For the extras, at first it seems like the Absolute edition is page for page the same as a hardcover, but in fact includes new page layouts for Detective Comics issues 874 and 871. Even though this is the only additional extra we have here in this edition, seeing Jock and Francavilla's cover sketches in this Absolute format for the first time is truly amazing. As for my final thoughts, I know you just heard me rave on how well this book was put together, because it truly is. This Absolute edition was a long time coming, and I'm quite surprised that the DC team responsible for the collected edition scheduling had delayed it this long. This is truly one, if not the best work that Scott Snyder has put out, and I can't highly recommend enough that you run out and buy this at your local comic book store. If you don't have one near you, just get it through Amazon. I've put Amazon links to all 3 editions in the description below. For those who cannot get enough of Snyder and Jock's pairing, I would definitely point you to the Batman Who Laughs miniseries. This is actually a loose sequel to the Black Mirror, as it deals with Snyder and Jock revisiting James Gordon Jr. in his current mental state. There's 2 more issues by the time this video drops, so I can't say how it ends, but I sense we might get some real closure between Jim and James in the following issues. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much for all the love I get here on YouTube, and I know you want me to be posting so much more. No doubt I will try to do so, but I want to emphasize that on a daily basis I have been posting on Instagram, where you will see all my variant and collected edition pickups. The Instagram community is firing on all cylinders lately, and everybody there is so engaging and positive with one another. And if you haven't joined the IG bandwagon, I highly recommend you do so. This is Alex, and I'll catch you in the next video.